Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and podcast where we inspire, encourage, and empower you to live a healthier lifestyle. Hi, I'm Anna. I'm the host, and I'm a retired school teacher, an author, an educational consultant, a jury consultant, and a health consultant. And I'm also a certified cake instructor. So I bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversation. And each episode, we dive into topics that enrich our lives, from educational and personal development to health, wellness, and of course, the art of jewelry. Join me as we explore interesting stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help you live a blessed and fulfilling life. Thank you again for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, where every conversation is a treasure. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I always start with housekeeping, and I do that because I am a senior citizen. And I forget things sometimes. So, but anyway, the purpose of this podcast is to uh, share knowledge and make people more aware of their surroundings or things that might affect them or which might enhance their lives to make them live a healthier lifestyle. And I do this by providing, knowledge and workshop and speakers to come on and talk about different topics and so forth. So if you notice, I am back on Facebook partially, not all the way I was before, but I am back, but still building. And so I'm grateful to have my Facebook family with me this evening. And I just want to remind you that I do go live on other platforms as well. Facebook is one of them, and this is my new Facebook, and it's a doozy, y'all. This is my new Facebook profile. So if you want to watch me, I do my jewelry over there and any other things, affirmations, all those things on my Facebook profile. So if you want to reach out to me over there and come and watch me, by all means, you can always look me up as well. I also go live on Instagram. So Instagram is really basically what saved me during this time when I didn't have Facebook. So I do go live on there, and I'm going to continue to go live on Facebook. I do have a website. This is my website, so you can reach out to me anytime on that website. Also, I have a website with CTR Media Network. Sorry, just a moment. Uh, Here we go. Oh, I don't know what happened here. Okay, this is my website on CTR Media Network, and you can also reach out to me there as well. They also have my pricing if you want to, uh, um, if you're interested in placing an ad. Okay, so I'm always looking for people to do advertising or sponsoring. I don't know if you're aware of that, but you can do that on my podcast as well. We do have commercial slots, so you can reach out to me at any of those avenues as well as my email. This is my email as well. So feel free if you have any type of questions or anything like that. Please, by all means, reach out to me. I'm available for anything. So we're going to take a brief commercial, and then you know what we've been talking. This is part two, y'all. This is part two of the winter gardening because I couldn't get it all in one episode. It was so much. And I always tell people I live in the Midwest, but when I provide information, and this is on a topic like this, I like to give information for everybody where everybody lives. So that's why it was so much, and you'll see as we go through it today um, how it is. So we're going to take that brief commercial, and then we are going to come right back and we are going to get started. Here we go. I'm going to do. All righty, we are back. And I just wanted to make sure that I put the website up there. So, in case you are interested in joining my team, by all means, reach out to me, or you can reach out to me at that website. So, that was my first commercial. So, let me go ahead and get started real quick. Um, Last week, I'm going to kind of refresh here what I kind of talked about last week. When I talked about winter gardening, and basically when I talk about winter gardening, I went to a in my community we have a very active library, and so we had a lady came in and did a demonstration on container gardens. God, she had so many different type of container, everyday containers, milk cards, different little things that you can plant really and truly in anything. Okay, and so she told us then at the thing that she did a winter garden, and what she did was she covered it up, and so it sparked my interest because I'm really a gardener and I love to garden. And there are some plants that I really had a hard time with. So when I do this research, it is not just for uh, you all; it's for me too, because sometimes I have difficulty, and the plants that I have difficulty with are really those plants that are basically good for winter gardening. Go figure. Okay, but like I said, I would not have known any of that if I had not done the research. And so I talked about basically winter garden and how you could basically do it, and also the different types of greenhouses, because you can use greenhouses as well to have your gardens in. So tonight I'm going to talk about the best time to plant your winter garden. And that best time different differs throughout the United States. And sometimes when you get your oh God, I meant to bring one over here. I got to get it. Well, I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes when you get ready to plant and you get your packet of seeds, and on the back is it's a map of the United States, and on it it has zones, zones, and it's different colors. Okay, and so that basically tells you, now this is put out. I'm going to tell you right now by the United States Department of Agriculture. So they have done quite a bit of research on it, but you know how God is, and you know how the weather is, and it changes up and down. And so, what I'm going to give you this evening is just a general thing, but we're going to talk about the time and when it is, when you want, when you need to plant your garden, when it's the best time to plant your garden. And, I want you to realize that it really depends on the climate as well as the type of plants that you're growing. So that's where I had the problem with the I guess the type of plants. But I'll tell you, I always tell you all, I always tell you my stories as I go along. So let me pull up my presentation, Winter Garden Across Zones, a guide. This is just a guide to cold hardy crops and greenhouse success from the Midwest to beyond. And here we go. So right now we are in what we call, this is in the Midwest now. I'm talking about Midwest. Right now we are in late summer to late fall, which runs from August to September. And what it's saying is this is when you should start planting cold hardy crops outdoors or in a greenhouse. And the goal is to give plants time to establish themselves before the first frost. Now, let me go ahead. Many cold hardy plants need to grow in the warmer parts of the season to establish strong root systems. Once mature, they can survive cold weather and frost. What to plant? Kale, Spanish, carrots, Brussels sprouts, leeks, which is a form of onion, beets, and turnips. Now, each one of those things, that vegetables up there, I have tried to plant, and I planted them in the summer. And I figured out now that that is probably why I had a problem. It was too hot. They didn't have enough time to mature. And so I learned a lot because, and these here are the cold hardy plants that you would plant. Now I'm going to tell you another story is I always plant greens. And every year I plant greens. But here lately, my collard greens have been coming back. And so I think that they're planted in a location where I don't know, they just come back. So this year I didn't even plant any collards, but I got these vegetable boxes or planters that I am going to plant some collards in there, and I'm going to compare. I'm an old-fashioned science teacher, so I'm going to kind of like I'm going to compare because those collards that I have, those are Georgia collards out there, but I'm going to plant something, a Felton collard green or something. I'm really getting good. I'm knowing the names of the things now, y'all. Oh, Lord have mercy. Help me, help me. So the next thing is mid-fall, October now. Now the timing, by October, the weather is cooling down, you all. You know that. And frost may be approaching to some regions. Okay. Now, sometimes we might get frost early, but normally it does come between, I would say November. Sometimes we've got it in October. But most of the time it's between November and December. And so why planting some crops in mid-fall allows them to mature during the cold months. And so what to plant? It says garlic. And if you notice, planting garlic in October allows it to grow over winter and can be harvested in late spring or summer. And you can also do it with onions. Some onions can also be planted in the fall for overwintering. But I do have, because I've been gardening for a little bit, I do have a story about garlic. And I'm going to plant garlic this year. It's been a while since I planted garlic. because garlic is like a child. You plant it in the fall. My mother got me into garlic, planting garlic. She called me one day and said, "Oh, uh, I'm going to order this garlic. You want me to order you some?" I said, "I don't know anything about it." She said, "Oh, they're going to send you instructions for how to plant it." And so I went on. And so, oh my God, y'all, it was like a baby. You have to plant, you plant it in October now. And then you got to nurse it. You got to nurse it. And once you dig it up, it's got to hang and dry. So it is a process. You might get some garlic by summer. That's why it says that. So I'm going to try it again. Uh, I'm going to try it again this year with the garlic. I've ordered my garlic. They do not send the garlic out. They will start sending it out September 23rd. They'll start shipping it. And when they start send it out, then I order from a seed company. It's called seedsavers.org. It's another company that my mother kind of introduced me to. They preserve seeds. It's an heirloom company where they preserve seeds, and that's what it's really all about. I'm one of those ones that kind of believe in eating from the earth, and because it's healthier. You don't get all those pesticides and whatever they put on them, because you're doing it and you're not going to put all those types of things on it. So I always encourage people to garden as much as they can. Some things you just can't. You got to go to the store and you got to buy, but garden as much as you can. And that's why I'm trying out the winter gardening because I want to be able to garden all year. Now, most of you all know that I do have a little herb garden, and I'll talk about that later on as we go on. So let's go on because I don't want to keep you here all night. This is one of my subjects that I love. So late fall to early winter, November to December time, and some crops can still be planted in late fall, y'all, especially with mild winters or with greenhouse protection. Why? With protection, plants like spinach or lettuce can still thrive in cold. What to plant? Winter lettuce, mustard greens, machi salad. It says corn salad, and I think that's the corn that grows, and it's a multicolored corn. And then radishes for fast growing varieties. So I've never had success with spinach or lettuce, and that's probably why, because I never planted those things in the fall. I always planted those things in spring. So that's why this year I am going to do that. I got me some seeds, and when I go to commercial again, I am going to get those seeds so that I can kind of show you. I'm going to kind of show you some of the things that I will be planting in my winter garden, which I will be starting this weekend, believe it or not, because it is late summer. All right, so, oh my God, child. We got to look at, let me make sure, let me get my notes here. I'm looking at my, because sometimes I go ahead of myself. Okay. Which I think I am now. But frost dates, because frost dates are very important. Now, in the Midwest, some where it's I'm gonna talk about the zones shortly, but in the Midwest and some other of the regions or zones, we have frost dates. And most of the time we might have one or two. So the first frost date, so you want to check. I always tell people to check your area first frost date. Ideally, you should plant most cold-hardy crops, they say, 6 to 8 weeks before this date. This gives them time to mature before the cold weather. That's why you hear me say I'm to get out there now, because uh, probably we won't get any cold weather until probably November. So that'll give it, I got a couple of weeks in September and a couple, 4 weeks in October. And then the last frost date for crops that are started earlier, planting your winter garden based on the last frost of the previous spring can also help. For example, fall planted garlic benefits from cooler soil conditions over winter. So we want to keep that in mind as well. Oh, yeah. Let me see what else. I want to talk a little bit about indoor garden. I'm lost with my notes, but I can follow along here. I can follow my presentation, but I want to talk a little bit about indoor gardening. And so if you're growing indoors, you can start seeds for cold-hearted herbs and vegetables like cilantro, parsley, or spinach anytime, provided you have the right lighting and temperature conditions. So I have what is called, it's called a Harvest X. It's put out by Arrow Garden, which is, they're the company that works with Miracle Grow. You buy their dirt, and all of those things. Well, they put out this little, it's very small. It's about this size, about this, but it has a little thing and has little pods in it. And so in that little pod, I grow different herbs. So right now I got, really right now I got greens in there, mustard greens and collard greens, salad, lettuce, arugula, and then there's another one that's foreign to me. I don't know that one. I really have to look, starts with the M. I got to look it up and see just what I can do with it. But before, I had planted other things, basil, Thai basil, purple basil, dill. So it's just a little, and it has ultraviolet lights. No dirt, it's all water. And so I use that, and I can just pick off of that when I want a salad or something, of that. It's right in my kitchen. It's not outside or anything like that. So that's how I do it. Very seldom do I plant herbs and things like that outside because I can do those in the house. But I have planted, just like those greens, I have planted cilantro and it has come back. So evidently that area that I have it in is very conducive to plants returning, you know. So we are going to, I believe, take a commercial, and then we're going to come back and talk about the Midwest planting schedule. I'll be just right back. Hold on one moment.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Oh, we are back. So I'm going to talk a little bit. If you're just tuning in, I am Anna. I am the host of the award-winning, I forgot to say that, of the award-winning Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. All right, so Midwest planning schedule. A lot of you don't live in Midwest. Just hold on because I'm going to do everybody. Late summer, that's August to September, you want to plant outdoors. You want to plant those cold-hearted vegetables. They should be planted 6 to 8 weeks, just like I said before, your area's first frost, which typically falls between mid-October and early November. And what to plant, I've already told you: kale, spinach, carrots, beets, swift chard, turnips, radishes, and broccoli if you want a early spring harvest. And you can also do indoor planting. You can start herbs like parsley and cilantro and chives indoor for later, transplanting them into a garden for or a cold frame. Now, I do have chives outside. I plant them, and I don't do any other more chives because chives is what you might call invasive. So it comes back, and really kind of like spreads. Unfortunately, that's what I planted in the front and in the back, those type of flowers. So now I'm trying to weed them out. But that's a learning process. That's what is, really and truly all about. So the mid fall planning schedule is by October. Your outdoor plants should be well established, but you can continue planting in a protected environment like a greenhouse or a cold frame. And you can also plant those that lettuce, spinach, arugula, mustard green, and the marchi. Direct planting garlic. October is the ideal time to plant garlic bulbs for harvest in the late spring or early summer. And like I said, the company that I order my bulbs and stuff from, they don't even start sending them out to September. So September 23rd is the first day that it is going to be shipped out. So I should get it in time so that I will be able to plant my garlic this year, if all is well and God is willing. So late fall to early winter, can you believe it that you can still plant? Then the writing on, I'm gonna see if I can find it on my notes because the writing is so uh, small. So wait a minute. November to here it is. So in the Midwest, most outdoor planting will stop by this time due to frost, but you can continue to grow in a greenhouse or a cold frame. And what you want to plant indoors or in the greenhouse is winter lettuce, microgreens, herbs like thyme, parsley, and sage. Now, thyme and parsley, I told you I do in my countertop with my indoor garden, but the sage, I do have sage out in my garden. And what I do with that is it's a perennial. It comes back every year. So I cut it down as much as I can, let it dry out, crumble it up, and I give sage away. Everybody uses sage, especially during the holiday uh, 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 seasons as well. So we're going to talk about USDA hardiness zones, and that's what I kind of wanted to talk to you about. But we had to talk about those other things. I don't know where it is in my notes. I'm going to come back just a few moments. Let me remove this from the. Okay, I just wanted to come back for just a few minutes because I wanted to show you. I don't know if you can see the seeds. So I'm going to plant some radishes. And unfortunately, these do not have the map on the back. That's what I want to see. But I have my seeds. So I'm going to plant some radishes. I'm going to plant some collards. These are what they call, you can't even read it on there, Ellen Felton dark collards. No, okay, let me see if I can. The lighting is so funny. Okay. And also I have some beets. The picture is probably better than thing I'm going to plant. And then I'm going to plant a cabbage. It's a purple cabbage. And one year I planted this and I planted it in the front. And God, people were stopping because it was so beautiful. So that one is a very decorative one. So I said, I'm going to try to plant it. And if it works, I'm going to still plant it so I can put it, because it is so pretty when it starts to bloom and so forth. But the United States um, Department of Agriculture hardiness zones has divided the country up into what is called zones. And based upon those zones, that is when they are suggesting that you plant uh, your garden. So I just didn't want to give you the Midwest because everybody, this is a global podcast. It is seen all over the world, basically. And I wanted to at least be able to give people the advantage of how to plant in their zone. So the first zone that I'm going to talk about is called Zone 3 and 4. And this covers the northern and upper Midwest. The average winter temperature for this zone is minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The best plants is cold-hardy vegetables that can handle freezing temperature and frost. So here we got these same ones. It's the same ones, but you do need to keep that uh keep that in mind. So it is kale, spinach, carrots, Brussels sprouts, beets, and garlic. Now, the protection method, however, is greenhouses, hoop houses. And that's like the box where they have the hoop over and they cover it. And cold frames are essential for extending the growing season. Heated greenhouses may be necessary for crops like lettuce or herbs. And the planting time is late summer for outdoor crops. Continue growing in greenhouses through the winter. So that is zone 3 and 4. Uh-oh. Zone 5 and 6, which is the central Midwest, northeastern U.S., and the northern plains. And that one, the average temperature is minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the challenges here are the cold winters, but a slightly longer growing season compared to zone 3 and 4. And the best plants to plant are the cold-hardy vegetables and herbs, which I mentioned before: kale, spinach, radish, turnips, swift chard, they added on here, garlic, leeks, and onions. Now, the protection method is the cold frame, and unheated greenhouses work well. But for tender crops, they're saying um, like lettuce, a heated greenhouse or row cover may be needed for that. And then the planting time is early fall, August through September, for outdoor planting and overwintering crops like garlic and onion planted in October. So the next zone is 7 and 8. And then this one covers the southern U.S. and the southern Midwest and the Pacific Northwest as well. So the average temperature is 0 degrees Fahrenheit to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And the challenge is milder winters, but still subject to frost and occasional freezing. The best plants is cold-hardy crops thrive in winter, and some cold weather crops can be grown year-round. That's what I'm trying to do. Broccoli, carrots, cabbage, spinach, kale, beets, collards and lettuce. If you notice in each zone, it looks like they add another vegetable or something to it. The planting time, you can plant well into the fall, September to October, with overwintering crops like garlic, spinach, and cabbage extending into early winter as well. So we're going to stop here for a brief moment. We're going to go and take another commercial break, and then we'll be right back, and I'll talk to you a little bit about zone number 9 and 10. I believe that is the next zone.
Join the She Trucking Foundation today and be a part of a supportive community of women in the trucking industry. Unlock exclusive access to valuable resources, including mentorship, educational workshops, and networking opportunities. Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting your trucking journey, She Trucking is here to empower you and help you thrive. Visit www.shetrucking.com to join us and drive your trucking career to new heights.
All right, we are back, and we're going to move on to zone number 9 and zone number 10, which is the southern part of the U.S., California and Gulf Coast. Now, the average temperature there is 20 degrees Fahrenheit to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The challenges there are midwinter with little to no frost, but plants can still suffer from temperature swings. The best plants, winter garden is easier here, allowing for a wide variety of crops. So the example would be lettuce, radishes, broccoli, carrots, swift chard, uh, cabbage, peas, and herbs like cilantro and parsley. Like I said, they seem as the weather gets warmer, they add more selections to it. Protection method: most winter garden in these zones won't require greenhouses, though low tunnels or row covers might be needed for frost-sensitive plants. The planting timing for this is you can plant almost year-round, with ideal times for winter crops being October to November. Zone number, number 11 and 12. This is the tropical or subtropical areas of the United States. And the average winter temperature is 40 degrees to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The challenges: there are no freezing temperatures, but mild winter can still bring periods of cooler weather. The best plants focus on cool season crops that could otherwise struggle in hot summers. Example: tomatoes, lettuce, kale, spinach, peas, carrots, and most herbs. The protection method: little or no protection is needed, but shade cloth or row covers may be help with sudden cold fronts or a heavy rainfall. Planting timing: the winter is your primary growing season for crops like lettuce, spinach, and carrots, which does tolerate the heat of the summer. So that keep that in mind. So I talked about the zones, but I also want to talk about the greenhouse and gardening for all zones. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to be. I'm going to summarize, and we're going to be over. This was an interesting topic. I just hope that you enjoyed it with the research and things that I did. Okay, the overview. Regardless of the zone, a greenhouse can extend your growing season. It makes it possible to garden in colder months. Zone 3 to 4, a heated greenhouse is critical if you want to grow more tender crops like lettuce or start seeds for spring planting. Zone 5 and 6, unheated greenhouses work well, but added insulation or supplemental heat may be necessary for sensitive crops. In zone 7 and 8, a simple hoop house or cold frame often suffices, though a greenhouse can help with year-round protection. Zones 9 and 12, greenhouses are less critical but can help regulate temperature during unexpected cold snaps or provide a controlled environment for specific crops. So, what we basically need to do is to kind of uh, plan our calendar um, by zones, what we want to plant. And I think we'll be a little more successful. So we're going to stop right here and take another brief commercial. And then when I come back, I'm going to give you that overview or a summary of what I have said this evening. Okay, just hold on. All right, we are back. I'm the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And this evening we are talking about, look at this overview right here. We are talking about zone and planting winter gardens. And believe it or not, in all of the zones, you can plant a winter garden in every last one of them. So, let me see what's happening here. All right. So, in zone 3 and 4, you want to start your seeds indoors in August, and you want to transplant outdoors in September. You want to focus on frost tolerant uh, crops. Now, in zone 5 and 6, you want to begin planting outdoors in late August through September, and for the greenhouse planting can continue into October. Zone 7 and 8, you want to start planting in October with protection as needed in winter. And if you notice, I have a little graph here so that you can kind of see. Well, it's really a timeline that you can kind of see when to plant. And then zone 9 and 10, you want to plant in November with continuous growing through winter. And then we have the last one, zone 11 and 12, which is the tropical season. Your primary growing season starts in the fall, with crops being planted from October through February, which is great. So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for attending my podcast. I'm always grateful. And I just want to say that I hope that this guide helps cover all of the USDA zone, making it accessible for gardeners across the country. And I'm hoping that in some kind of way this evening you were inspired. I'm hoping that some kind of way you were encouraged. And I'm also hoping that I have empowered you to live a more blessed and healthier lifestyle. Before I leave, I just want to let you know about our upcoming events. And I posted this on Facebook. I'm being awarded, and it's a group of us. It's part of the CTR Media Network. We're the top. I'm one of the top podcaster awards, so that's why you heard me say I'm not used to seeing I'm part of an award-winning show. So, but yes, this is a virtual event. It is free. You can register at www.ctrmedia.network, ctrmedianetwork.com, y'all. Let me get it together here. But it's down here at the bottom of this flyer, and it's free. I would love for you all to come and support me and see me get my reward. Also, this is Top Podcast Award. You can see it here. And I just don't want to leave anything out. I just want to remind you also that, let me get to it. I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. Just go there and click on it. I would love that. This is streaming to my YouTube channel now as I'm speaking. So if you're out there, click that subscribe button as well. I also want to let you know that there's going to be giveaways here. So make sure that you register. I'm going to put it back all the way back up there. So you register at ctrmedianetwork.com. And these are all of the recipients that are being rewarded as well. So I want to go back again, and I want to thank you again for attending Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. Next week, I am planning to have a guest. She is a doctor, Dr. Lakeisha McMillan. And also, she deals with menopause and premenopausal and postmenopausal. So she's going to come on and talk to to women about those facts, which are very important facts for women. So please tune in. And as I leave you, I always leave with what I called my 3 L's. I close all my shows with my 3 L's. And the first one is to live. Live your life, everyone. Life is short. And so you want to make sure you get the most out of your life and do those things that make you happy, because that makes your life fulfilling. And it helps you live that healthier lifestyle. The second thing that I always say is to laugh. Laughter really is good for the soul. So find somewhere where you can laugh and get that laugh out and make other people laugh. I haven't laughed so hard in a long time, but I do tell you, I have friends that send me things that make me laugh. It just feels good to laugh, sometimes. And then the third thing is to love. So make sure that you love everybody. That's what the Bible says. But the most important person that you need to love, guess what? Is you. So make sure self-love. So make sure you love yourself and have a blessed and evening. Show someone some kindness this week. I'm going to close out with my sponsors as well as my recognition of people who have helped me in my journey with my podcast show. Thank you again for attending.